Welcome to Forever Exiled, the Path of Exile podcast. I am Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days. Pretend I was silly there. I didn't have the energy. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you need to get some energy.
Yeah.
It's a podcast.
Yeah.
MFN podcast. Anyway, we're in episode 74, not 39, like I may have thought last week.
Right.
We'd be going into 74. It's even further.
At least a couple more. Yeah.
That's right. 74. Thank you guys so much for listening. Big shout out to our Patreons. We've got 2 new patrons this week, Dennis and Eric. Thank you guys so much for joining our Patreon team. If you're curious what our Patreon is, stop laughing. If you're curious what our Patreon is, there's information down below. There's a link. You can find it on our Discord and our website. Biggest benefit, though, you get access to After Dark, which is our podcast after the podcast. It's more me and Tyler just talking, right?
I'm really excited about this episode. I'm not going to tell anybody why, but I'm really excited. I want to see how different this episode is compared to all our other episodes.
This normal episode or After Dark?
Yeah, either. Well, this one, this normal one,
Okay, I am curious now too, so I guess we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, I feel like you're going to bring up a surprise or something.
No, it's not a surprise. I just like making fun of you.
Anyway, big shout out to our Patreons. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for listening. How was your week, Ty?
It was better than the last couple of weeks. I want to thank everyone that was very kind. I mentioned I forget it was last week or the week before, but I was having a pretty rough go, just the concussion stuff, emotions, all that kind of thing. And so not to bring it back up, but, feeling a little bit better and things are doing well. And there was a lot of kindness from our regular listeners, a lot of support, a lot of people offering their time for me. So it was very kind, very, very kind. And it's always funny, though, like we started our private league. Yeah. And it's always funny how I just broadcast for fun. I broadcast everything I do. It's for fun, whether numbers are up or down. It's just a fun hobby. And it's always funny watching my numbers fluctuate around the start of our private leagues. You know what I mean? It's just, there's a lot more numbers, a lot more people that I don't see normally, and they're cheering for my death. And it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I enjoy what the private league brings to life. It's pretty fun. But I'm doing okay. Actually, I had my daughter's birthday this week. And
yeah, happy birthday.
Thanks. Yeah. I'll pass it on. She'll care. And, I'm involved in the community. I do guide writing, do the podcast, that kind of stuff. And just before I'm going to sit down and start wrapping my kids' gifts for the night, I get a message on, a little toast on my phone saying that I got another reply for Reddit. So I go check it out. Maybe somebody has a question. I'm going to read it to you, and I'm just going to bring something up. This is kind of in relation to harvest and people's reactions to harvest. We had some people that didn't quite understand our perspective or completely disagreed with our perspective onto how we viewed the general negative Reddit response. So this is what the message I get just before a normal guy like me is just going to go wrap gifts for his daughter's birthday. Dude, every league you only have, now guys referring specifically to me, a total stranger, right? I replied to somebody's thread about, I forget if it was minions or league starting. I don't know. I just respond. Somebody who isn't the original poster responds to me, says, dude, every league you do only 7 to 10 challenges. You have no business writing guides. Your builds are bad, low effort, aimed strictly at extremely new players or players with physical or mental disabilities. I don't even. For a new player to improve on what you offer, he would literally have to follow a different build. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. Cringe City. I really have no idea how you get so many followers. Your builds are literally the worst on the forums. Use anything you want in a game about chasing the most ideal pieces of gear for your build. I mean, just LOL. So no effort at all on min-maxing, eh? Just use whatever. Play at your own pace. It screams fail. The only thing worse than your builds on the forums are that one guy that only leaves a POB and says contact me on my YouTube channel for more information. But at least he's finally gone and I haven't seen him in ages. So I get this message. Now, I'm very fortunate, right? My faith, no matter how down I am, keeps me on a path where I remember what's important in life. But I'm still just a normal guy. And I mean, they're the type of person where none of this is accurate, right? They're the type of person where they read the title and maybe click on my name, but none of it's none of it's accurate at all. It's all detailed. It's all like, I mean, frick, it's 2 posts because I exceed the 50,000 character limit. You know what I mean? And it's all there. Like, none of it makes sense. They didn't pay attention, but they don't know that. They don't know how misinformed, or maybe they don't realize how arrogant they are, but that's to a complete stranger that has no value in the community. Like, I'm not trying to degrade myself, but what I'm saying, I'm not GGG. I'm just a guy that writes guides. If I disappeared, if I got hit by a car tomorrow, you'd be sad. Maybe my wife would be sad. That's it. But then the guides would disappear and no one would remember me. Right. And that's like, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but that's just how it is. I'm not that important compared to GGG, but this is a person going to someone who doesn't have a say in how the game works. And this is the type of aggression and superiority that's in their attitude to someone they've never met and has no influence in how they play. Imagine now, like, and this is not the first kind of message I've received like this. And it's not like, look at me, this guy made me feel bad. It's, imagine what it would be like to be GGG. So you're making decisions that maybe this person and other people don't like. Imagine the kind of stuff that they get all the time. The reason I bring it up is because last week we really ragged on the negative attitudes, not the negative opinions, but the negative attitudes of Reddit from last week with the harvest changes that were announced for 3.14. And if this is the kind of stuff that a complete stranger gets, imagine what GGG gets when they make a decision that actually, wrinkles up the community. Like, they go home, they wrap gifts for their kids, they go home, play with their dog. They want to feel good when they go home to their spouse. It's pretty harsh what a lot of people say.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that guy's an asshat. And I also think, like, I wasn't going to bring Reddit up much just because there were some negative opinions towards me with regards to last episode. And I kind of thought, well, we haven't talked about Reddit in forever. It actually has been quite a few episodes. The fact of the matter is I don't actually care if you like me or not. Reddit is garbage. It's unfortunately, it's trash. Mm-hmm. And that's not saying that the majority of people on Reddit are. It's just that that's the vocal majority of people want to type and be heard, and they're not positive. Generally, they're just not. And I don't care that somebody might disagree with me. I don't care that somebody thinks. I loved that it was me that they were saying in this particular, not your particular case. In your particular case, I think that guy's just garbage and should just piss off. Also, in all of these cases where people leave negative stuff about anything, it just boggles my mind that somebody spends time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I barely have time to play the game. I wish I could play the game more. I cannot imagine taking time out of my day to write something disparaging and mean and nasty. Like, move on. Nobody gives a shit about your opinion. They just don't, especially if it's just going to be negative. I have no problem with us having disagreements with people. We have disagreements between each other. Our Discord is full of a ton of people. I've never seen someone ever on our Discord be outright dickish to somebody else. They disagree. People disagree all the time. That's part of life and that's part of playing a game. But when you go to an extreme of like personally trying to attack somebody, that's not the type of people we want listening to Forever Exiled. And it's not the type of people we want to have to deal with on Reddit. It's why we don't deal with Reddit. I mean, you do, but at what cost sometimes? Like,
oh, totally. And the thing is, we mentioned last week that Bex said they've considered leaving Reddit. Like, why? Like, this is a perfect example of the types of posts that they would get all the time, even without a 3.14 harvest announcement, let alone the influx that they would have. And so anyway, the reason I brought it up was just to remind people when they're giving feedback, keep it edifying. You don't have to like what you're typing or the content you're typing about, but these people have to go home, right? And they're just people. They're making a game. And a lot of the people that work there, like, it's not a global thing. People disagree there. They have their choices, but then they got to make a global decision. And, there's some people that might grumble, but like, just they're people on the other side.
You're also talking about a game. It's a video game. You know what I don't mean that in a way to like say that what you do with the guide writing and all that kind of stuff it's a big deal. It is. People love it. And regardless of what this douchebag says, you have a ton of people who follow the builds. But in the end, you're writing guides, taking time out of your day to do something fun for a video game.
Totally.
So go spend your time better, people out there who are douchebags.
And we'll have a nice thing coming up later. And I think
this is a whole episode about Reddit. A whole episode.
No, not at all. It's done. It's done. But I just want to point it out there because a lot of the times people forget, right? A lot of the times people forget. There is one thing that's scratching at me that I'm forgetting to bring up. I didn't take notes on this. I just wanted to mention it quickly and I didn't want to ramble.
What is it?
I don't remember. So I might just go bloop a little bit later in the episode.
Perfect. It's going to fit in perfectly with this episode.
It is our Reddit only episode. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening. You're all fantastic. And I do appreciate your support. My daughter's birthday was fantastic. I appreciate the gift suggestions. I remember last time with COVID just starting off, everybody that was offering to pick stuff up for me or have it shipped to me and all the hard, difficult things for a picky little daughter to find. So you were all fantastic and I really appreciate you. So thank you. How about you, Jess? Do you have a good week?
Yeah, I had a fantastic week.
Just as fantastic as last week. You just had a
It's always been good, man. I've been feeling great. Getting good sleep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Who is it
pep
that
in my step?
You love theme song and your earbuds. I was going to say your Walkman.
It's
Walkmans.
I have been feeling great. I've been feeling healthy and my body's getting better, healing up. So no, I've had a great week. I have been like insanely busy. Just some things with work changed this week. So this has been absolutely nuts. And I didn't get to play Path of Exile till today. I was on Discord quite a bit. I felt really disconnected actually this week. Leading up to the private league, I was quite excited for the private league. And I actually think, maybe it's something we can chat about because I think both of us have felt a little bit of a disconnect from Path of Exile this week. And I don't think that's uncommon for people.
No, mine, and I'm not going to get into it. Mine's just forced. It's the performance on the Xbox One. So I am pretty disconnected from that. I'm not progressing anything. And so I played a lot of Formula One, right? Played some Red Dead. Normally I play Red Dead every second week, but it was last weekend this week. So, hanging out with people, take advantage of it in different ways, pretending, it's one of those things where I'd be like one of those guys, I don't like Ritual, so I'm just going to wait till 3:14. Just pretend I'm one of those people. Even though I think Ritual's awesome. But I'm glad you had a good week. I'm glad you have a pep in your step. Was it?
Yep, not vegan yet. I know there was somebody who said they're waiting for me to go vegan. That's definitely not going to come.
Yeah, sure. Says the guy who's already taken the step to not having meat for lunch.
It's been great too.
Why?
Fantastic.
Your smile's so annoying.
I know, but there's something wrong with me, Ty, and it's fantastic.
Have you seen what's the movie where Tom Hanks is a kid, but then he gets like magically Yes. And then remember the very first time he spends the night somewhere? His walk the next morning?
That's no. Yes, I do know his walk.
It's like one of the funniest parts of any movie. Yeah, he's just got the best happy. Walk. Oh, the first time. And that, and then when what's his name? Bill Murray is playing the piano in Groundhog Day, and he says why he became it. My dad was a piano mover, so.
Or when he's sailing. In What About Bob?
Anyway, so the best movie moments, but anyway, that walk, that's what you remind me of, that stupid smirk you have on your face.
It's been a great week.
If you didn't already have 4 kids, I'd think that had just happened for you. Congratulations.
I'm done. That definitely will not happen. There will be no more kids. How was your PoE week? Did you have much of one?
No, it was pretty non-existent, but I'm super excited about the private league, and that did start today.
I didn't either. So let's just why don't we just talk about that? So our private league started today, Friday for us. So when this comes out Sunday, it started 2 days ago. If you're not in it, you can still join it. It runs for 10 days. There's a bunch of prizes you can win. So, and the lottery is cake to get into most likely. So
kisses, hugs, and pictures of my ginormous pipes.
That's right. If you're looking for the information for the private league, you just got to hop onto our Discord if you're not already on there, and it's under announcements.
Yep. And we'll add you as soon as we see you.
Yeah, people get into it real quick. So how has your start been?
I'm loving the 40% life. I'm forgetting, no matter what changes, even when I'm doing normal maps and it's not a private league, I'll look at the mods on a map that I roll and I'm like, yeah, okay, I should do that. No, I shouldn't do that. Oh, with this character, I probably shouldn't. Okay, let's roll it anyway. And just do it for fun. And then 5 seconds into the map, I'm like, why is everything hitting so hard? Oh, this game's so stupid. But it's, I rolled stupid mods. 5 seconds later, I forget. All the time. I always forget the mods I'm playing. So I'm playing through the private league here. We don't do any, if you're not familiar, we didn't do any crazy settings or anything. It was just 40% increased monster life. It's hardcore, ritual, and then 40% increased monster life. And even during the Hillock fight, I forgot. I'm like, this is taking a long time. I'm like, where's all my mana? And oh my goodness, the Brutus fight. I got to Brutus. I'm still alive, but I had some pretty scary moments. I think the scariest moment for me was when I did a ritual in the breaking eggs section. What's that little map called? You know, where you break the eggs. And there's the boss, the unique boss, Roa, in there.
Yep.
I didn't notice, wasn't paying attention, but when I did a ritual, the Roa came back. And it was a little bit busier than the completely open map. And I didn't use the decoy totem. I don't even remember if it was available at the time, but it was just following me around and around and around, kept hitting me way faster than me. My zombies kept dying. So it was a little stressful, but I did it, pulled it out. And using zombies. I'm starting as a scion and I'm using zombies. But there's not really, because of where I started, and I'm just using my normal guide tree, but I'm just starting as a scion. And there's not really, it's not meant to start hardcore type of thing. So I'm living, my zombies aren't, there's no supports for them yet. So I'm using Purifying Flame, which keeps them alive a lot. Wait, Purifying Flame. Yeah. Consecrated Ground. Yep. And so that's been working out quite well. And then the decoy totem saved my freaking butt with Brutus because my zombies could not live a moment with that one. So it was unsupported Purifying Flame with no spell damage or anything, just life nodes and decoy totem. But I did it. An hour later, I did it. So I'm sorry to say, everyone, that you have to get to at least level 8 for prizes.
Nobody thought you would get there.
Nobody did thought. Nobody did thought. Nobody did
thought that.
How about you? Would you start as? You're probably finished campaign by now, you jackass.
Duelist, champion, and I'm going to play with Earth Shatter, I think.
Of course. Okay.
I think that's what I'm going to do. Go with a big two-handed weapon. I don't really know exactly yet. I did start today. I got home. I had dinner with everybody, said goodnight, and I was like, I need to at least play. So I'm like halfway through Act 2 before
of course, sure.
I needed to record.
/ cheat codes and Act 2.
Yep, double X square.
Sweet. Are you going, any ideas? Like you going armor, you going leech, you going life regen?
I don't know.
No, you're just going to magically live and laugh at me when I die before I get to my 70 threshold.
I've decided that my goal is to make sure that when I die, it's announced. And so I need to be at a certain level on the ladder for that to happen.
Oh, so you do? Is that how it works?
Yeah. I don't think it announces if you're in like 200 on the ladder.
Interesting.
So my goal, I'd like to be in the top page. So top 50. When I die. I know I've given up on the fact of like, oh, I can get top 20, top 10. No. Everybody that plays is better. They know how to level better. And I don't have the time to get myself up there. So my goal is top page. I don't even think I got that last league. I think I died on the second page.
I don't remember, but you died in your 80s. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
man, we have a lot of good players that listen to us. It's so intimidating.
When I opened it today, when I got home, the first time I got a chance, there were players that were at 60. And that was
what?
4:30 our time.
Kick them. Kick them. No, there were some people that said they even booked time off for the league, which is kind of cool. Makes you feel kind of special and sad. So hopefully everybody dies lots. We wish very poor success.
There have been lots of deaths already.
What is going on with my English? Have there? Good. I'm glad. I hope there are more.
Right now, the top level is 76.
That's not right.
It's fun seeing some of the same names. We'll see if there's going to be a lot of legends potentially after this league.
Well, yeah, you sprung every ascendancy bit.
That's right.
It'll be fun to try.
Many winners.
Be fun to try. Yeah.
I love how many dead people there are. But anyway, the private league's been fun. I'm really excited. This is always fun for me. Even if I suck in it, I love Discord during this part.
Yeah.
The people talking and watching people. Somebody already got a tabula.
Oh, wow.
By the time that I asked at 4 how it was going, somebody already had found a tabula.
Dang. Now, someone was asking, we're in Global 2121. That's where we like to chit chat. What does 21 mean to you? Someone was asking if there's any special significance.
21 was just a number I had in high school for sports.
Oh, do you remember?
I do. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I had so much fun alphabetizing your number during basketball. Number 21. And we would just chant, bah! And oh my goodness. We had
I
a
remember
good time
actually being
cheering
called
for you.
out by our coach a number of times at the fact that I had louder cheering sections than the entire teams.
Oh,
and it was like two of you, three of you.
nonstop. I remember
It's
he would
true.
want to make signs. Our buddy would want to make signs that say, would like, lube it up now. It'll hurt less later. Boss coming for you. Oh man, that was awesome.
That's where it comes from. I think I did see somebody say like, why 2121? And somebody wrote, because 2120 was taken. From 1 to 2120 was taken.
That's right. It was the next one. But also, I was born on the 21st of February. So,
and that's the other reason.
The 20. That's right. And Justin knew that. That's why we have two 21s, because Justin's thoughtful. And that's just how it goes. That's how it is with thoughtful friends.
Mm-hmm. We know
that
these
consider you for private league details.
That's why there's two 21s.
Yeah. So
me and Ty, buds.
So J-Dog, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Anything happen in PoE Land this week? Because I don't know.
This week I tried to do notes for our podcast, and Tyler was not happy with my.
It's not that I'm not
notes.
happy. It's just that's the reason I'm excited for this episode.
Well, there just weren't any notes, and the problem is, look, here's the thing: GGG is really good at having stuff that's constantly ongoing. We had a great piece of content last week because of the whole harvest stuff, right? Regardless of whether people agreed with us or not. And I will say, just on that topic real quick.
Oh, no.
We had really good conversations with people in Discord regarding all of that stuff. And the majority, I would say like 99% of people, even on YouTube, like our YouTube people are awesome too.
Even YouTube,
like who would have thought? Like there's Reddit, there's YouTube. I don't know what the rest of the internet is. And then there's our Discord. except the people. No, except the people that comment on our YouTube. I don't know why. They're nice. I've not seen anyone be nasty on our YouTube comments.
No.
Which is just, I don't know. It's just weird. So, but anyway, the conversation we had, I thought was great. I liked hearing some other people's opinions. And Tyler and I talked about it this week, re-listening to it. We both thought we were pretty fair. We were kind of... I'm sticking with our opinion. We were right.
Other opinions.
But the thing is, then you have this week, and GGG is like, we got nothing for you guys. Because they don't. Here's the thing.
Tell us what there was.
There was screenshots of Path of Exile bosses.
Awesome.
It's cool. But here's where we run into a problem with screenshots of Path of Exile bosses. It's no different than, hey, here's the talent competition and here's this. Not that they're bad. It's just Tyler and I both end up going, yeah, looks cool.
It does look cool.
They do look cool, but we just don't want to say the same thing every time.
YouTube people get the benefit of that.
Sometimes I take old pictures. Sorry.
You should take pictures of us from like our camping days.
Somebody said something about us being on video for our podcast. And I was like, no, because you don't get it. We literally just stop sometimes in the middle of recording and have to do stuff.
Yeah, we just
and there's a few people who would know.
With the kids. Yep. Hang on. I have an itch and I need to take my pants off to get it.
That's right. So, and then after dark, I mean, half the time we're just naked. What an awkward video that would be.
Yeah.
But we had, okay, so there were screenshots of Path of Exile bosses, Twitch highlights, and runners up to the talent competition. Again, they're all cool things.
You nailed it, Justin. Way to nail that seg. You did it. So one thing that I did notice that came out this week was there was an article that came across my news feed, and I didn't check what the subject was that brought it up, but I absolutely love this perspective. I do need to click a link though, so my apologies. Oh my goodness, it didn't save as a link. The best games like Diablo to play while waiting for Diablo 4. So obviously it's a Diablo 4 fan base. This is on techradar.com or -com, whatever it is. And I thought that was really neat because the reason I'm getting it is likely because I'm a PoE fan, not because I'm a Diablo fan. And so, do you say Diablo or Diablo? How do you say it? I say Diablo. Is that
Diablo? You're right.
Diablo.
No, it's not
okay.
Diablo. What the fuck?
I don't know. It all sounds dumb to me sometimes. I was looking at my name the other day and I didn't think I was spelling it right.
This is wrong.
I had to look at my license to see if my name was good because it looked wrong. I was spelling it correctly, though.
That's
so
awesome.
Anyway, but it says the best games like Diablo to play while waiting for Diablo 4. And so I liked this one, too. It wasn't like very fanboyish or fangirlish. It said, with rivals like these, Diablo 4 is going to have a tough time reclaiming the ARPG throne. Reclaiming, huh? Now, guess who's number one? Path of Exile. And right off the bat, and I love this because I love hearing opinions like, when I'm watching the Canucks, I'm a big Vancouver Canucks fan. That's hockey for I don't know where you are in the world. So in the NHL and hockey, I'm a big Vancouver Canucks fan. One of my favorite things when I used to do graveyard shifts and I missed every Canucks game was I would listen on the radio to the opposing team's radio call because our we're such huge hockey fans where we're from. And well, not Justin. He's like kind of. I think he's heard of Wayne Gretzky, but you get so used to like the criticisms of, your own team and what they should be doing better. And you forget how good they are in the eyes of other people. And it's the same thing with Path of Exile. So it was really cool seeing this from a third party perspective, not from a Path of Exile fan's perspective, but from somebody who plays a different game primarily. And so I love the very beginning of this. It says, number one, Path of Exile. There's no point postponing the mention of the game that's the most direct Diablo rival out there. Path of Exile is slower and more complex than Diablo 3, focusing instead on a seemingly infinite pool of character customization and glorious endgame content that keeps its hooks in you for years. You could also make the case that Path of Exile's grimdark aesthetic is more true to Diablo 2 than Diablo 3 was. And then it goes on to praise it even more. It's pretty short, but awesome. And then at the very end, it says it's completely free too, except for your cosmetics. But I don't know. It was really cool. Like PoE, GGGs, they've been going through kind of a rough stretch here, just in terms of, the release that we mentioned or the news that we mentioned. And that's awesome to see that kind of stuff. So that came out this week.
Yep.
What? Are you going to play Diablo 4 when it comes out? Are you going to buy it and try it?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to buy it and try it.
Are you going to buy the $1 billion pack that you were talking about?
No, I don't see myself I don't see it grabbing my attention. You know why I'll buy it? I'll buy it for the music. And just because then I can see what it is. I loved Diablo 2. I didn't mind Diablo 3. It didn't have any long-term play for me.
Okay.
And I'll try it. But there's also the thing is, there's so many other games I want to try too. And this is one thing you and I talked about this week. Like, yeah. I want to try, what is it, Last Epoch?
That's what you said. That's right. Yeah. Last Epoch. You're probably saying it wrong.
I doubt it. But there's other games that are Jesus, you're wrecking me now.
Yes.
PoE-ish that I want to see how they are. I'd love to try other things so I can compare it to what we primarily play, which is Path of Exile. And the benefit to me of a league-based game like Path of Exile is I'm not the type that's going to play through a whole league. It's really rare for me to play through a whole league. So it gives me something to do in that last little bit as I go, okay, I maybe I like this or I don't like that. And it reminds me quite often of what I do like about Path of Exile.
Awesome point. I think a lot of the times we forget the things that we really like. We focus on the negative parts, and it's other games that bring out what we love about this game.
Yeah. And I feel like that was something that somebody called me out on as well. I don't remember where it was, but it had to do with the fact that I had made the comment that GGG comes out with a new game or an updated game every 3 months.
Oh yeah.
Now, maybe not every 3 months it's coming out in like the most polished state. I get it. That's fine. But it is still all new content every 3 months. You just don't find that with most other games. I don't know where I fall on that one totally, because it is a bit of there is a scale to that. Like you can't come out with new content every 3 months if the quality of the content and the game overall is decreasing. I don't find that it has, though. And if that makes me, whatever they want to call it, a fanboy or whatever, fine. But it hasn't been terrible content. It hasn't been unplayable content for me.
Right. So it's awesome for you.
It's not been the greatest, It's not been the greatest. It hasn't been. It really hasn't. This league has been very weird, and I have a good computer.
You did mention, but we didn't get around to it. So sorry for dropping back a bit. You mentioned when we first signed on, just while we were playing PoE before the podcast, that it wasn't performing well. What were you mentioning? What were you talking about? You said something along the lines of it hasn't been going too well.
I was just noticing frame drops going again, like we talked about before. And this was just in the basic leveling rituals, going from 300 frames per second to, I mean, I couldn't actually see what the numbers were, but it was noticeable in the gameplay. I could actually feel the game kind of like hiccuping.
Yeah, like that. It's like a split second every 5 or 10 seconds, a split second of zero. Just
yeah, I don't have as bad as you where it actually drops down to 0. But if I'm playing at even 150 plus and it drops down to 30, it's really, really noticeable.
That's something I notice. Smooth. Yeah, that's something I notice. It makes me nauseous.
I hope they start to get a handle on the whole Vulcan thing and how it's supposed to run on computers. And I would really, I feel like some people have said it does work for them, but I've never ever seen it work for you in any stream I've ever watched you play with the dynamic thing that's supposed to drop it down. It did when it was very, very new to the game.
What's it called? Dynamic resolution?
Something to that effect. It's not the culling part, but I've never seen that work since like the first week it was introduced.
Right.
I don't know why. I'm not sure what it is that determines if it's going to work or not, but there are some things that I would really like to see improved. It's funny when you watch the Diablo 4 trailer, and this is just Diablo in general. One thing that I notice, and I think maybe we talked about it, is just the ability to see the ground in Diablo 4, the ability to see what's happening.
Even just leveling in PoE, yeah.
Even leveling in PoE, I can't see the ground sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Like there were times when I was doing some of these rituals where I was like, what is bleeding me right now? I can't see what is actually causing. It's not enough to kill me, and that's fine. But just, I don't know, chill a little bit with all the crap on the screen. Let's just relax a little bit.
One thing you skipped with This Week in PoE, it really would have saved you in that segment, was
I'm not done.
The Path of... Oh, are we still on This Week in PoE?
We're still on This Week in PoE.
Oh, wow. What an amazing segment. This has gone on forever. Oh, man, those character pictures. No, was the... what's it called? The reflection on PoE. Like, they posted some videos about like PoE through the ages and some highlights from ExileCon. One of the, of course, for me personally, just my preference, is the slower gameplay that they teased for Path of Exile 2. They really want to come back and slow the game down. I as far as I saw, and I tried to watch every single moment, both live and then again, and I didn't see anybody expand on that. Do you think by slowing the game down, they actually meant like less enemies, harder but less enemies? Or do you think it was more, we're still going to have the insane amount of hordes? Do you think it's all combined? To me, my hope is exactly what you said, that I'm actually going to be able to see what I'm doing. And well, I don't know. That's it.
Yeah. So they did a Remembering ExileCon, which was awesome. A bit of a flashback. It's also a great filler for them when you don't have too much content to maybe put out there. You know, you can be like, hey guys, remember this? And it's awesome because it was a blast, and we had a really good time there. But I don't know that I want to see less mobs, because it's one of my favorite things is the density in Path of Exile. But what I would love to see is that the second my skill is used, it's gone. The design I don't want to see crap left on the ground if it's going to make it harder to see. I don't want to see enemy stuff on the ground. I want to be able to actually see what's happening. So with regards to the slowing it down, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't see it ever being what me and you maybe think of when we think of, hey, we want to slow the game down. You know, like you saw it in Metamorph a bit, where all of a sudden there was this dynamic change in, not so much in the meta, but a little bit, in where you were like, well, I need to be more focused on boss killing. I'm not crushing through maps.
Sure.
Going into Ritual, and with regards to the whole Maven fight thing, we had talked about, it sounds like that's the direction it's going. It didn't. I mean, the meta that most people are playing is still very fast, clear speed, delete bosses in 5 seconds. I don't know how you change that with the amount of power creep that's in the game. And I don't see them being able to just take it away in PoE 2. Because I think people have come to expect how they are typically going to play PoE. And clearly they don't take too well when you change things. So it's hard to say for sure. I am really curious. I haven't seen much of what they talked about in ExileCon with regards to the slowing of the game. And it's not really a fair representation to talk about Act 1 that we got to play there, because if you play Act 1 right now, it's pretty slow. It's chill. You can't be super, super fast if you're talking about starting a new character. Besides the crazy people that can race the game, but even still, they're not blowing up whole screens and, they're just finding ways to skip stuff.
Yeah.
So
to me, slowing the game down, I want to know what's happening to me. I want to know how I got hit. I mean, obviously sometimes surprise stuff, if you're learning the game, fine, but to have thousands of hours invested in a game and still be surprised by something, that's a little bit different. If I have hordes of enemies around me, I still want to see everything that's a danger to me. I still want the tells for the really powerful guys to be visible. One of the hard things for me, even with Metamorph, is I still don't know what's going to happen. Like, they're changing, they're morphing, they're doing this. Like, it's still 100% surprise stuff. You don't know even which until you've actually stayed in the fight for a bit, if you're not obliterating them. You have to actually stay and watch each cycle, and you learn what each one's happening, but there's still tons of surprises. The tells aren't really there, and the damage is even the off-screen stuff. So I like the mobs. I love heavy mobs, but to me, what's more important is knowing what's happening, and knowing why I died, knowing why I took damage, and seeing an avenue. Whether I can reach it or not is different, but seeing an avenue of safety or a goal that I can, like, this little space I need to get to before this happens. Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't do it. Shoot, I shouldn't have used that skill. You know what I mean? Something like that makes the game tough. That's me. But either way, looking forward to it, whatever their ideas are.
Looking back at what they did talk about this week, which was remembering ExileCon, besides PoE 2 announcement, was there one other thing that happened during ExileCon that was your favorite?
I loved the emotion and the passion that was in Chris. I'm sure it was in all of them, but when they finally, I don't know, honestly, that was probably the best. Like, if I go back to that moment, every complaint or suggestion or even everything I love about the game, my desire for console to be improved, this, that, and another thing, when I go back and I see Chris's emotion after the acclamation that they received after the Path of Exile 2 original video, like they show the video for the very first time, the roar from the crowd, how he gets choked up. I don't think anything beats that. As a PoE fan that does want the game to succeed, no matter what your opinion is of it now, to me, that was the best. That was better than seeing a revamped tooltip. And as a Minion fan, that's really exciting. It better freaking work for Minions. It was more exciting than seeing the auras and the new gem system, and you click one button to turn on all your auras. It was more exciting than hearing about the Ascendancy classes. All those things are at the top of my list. They're like 1.5. But I think just seeing not just the co-creators, but obviously them, but all the employees just absolutely love their product. That was really cool. It was nice, and it was eye-opening for me.
So I just want to double check your answer to what was your best thing outside of the PoE 2 announcement is the PoE 2 announcement.
No, it was the reaction of the employees and co-creators.
Of the PoE 2 announcement.
That was the whole thing. Well, okay. Well, then the only other thing that there is to talk about is mobile.
That's the only other thing.
Well, no, it's like you have ExileCon that's talking about PoE 2 or mobile. Everything else was the league that was coming out, and there wasn't it. So you gave me what? Wait, what are you going to give me?
So it's mobile then.
I hate you so much. Give me you do something.
I got nothing.
Something.
I don't have an answer.
I hate you so much. I loved your story about meeting Chris. I thought that was awesome.
That was
the
fun.
People that you were with didn't even know who he was.
Yep. But just in general, the people we met down there were really cool.
Yeah.
The people that were at ExileCon that we ran into and met and hung out with for a while, they were cool.
Sweet. Now, we got to take off pretty quick. This is going to be a super short episode compared to
play.
the others because, we have a private league to play and it's important to us to play. And I'm excited to live longer than Justin with his, I don't know what I'm going to do.
What do you have to do this league, Ty? For people that don't know.
Well, last private league, Justin and I made a silly little bet between us. Not a bet, but just a little agreement.
A gentleman's bet.
Sure. We both had to start as a scion. You're no gentleman. And we had to reach level 75. Remember, we do all of our private leagues in hardcore. And so...
Solo self-found.
Right. So... yeah. Pshaw. And so we solo self-found hardcore. We had to start as a scion, do whatever you want. If you got to 75 before you died, you could play whatever you wanted for the rest of our private leagues. If you didn't get to 75, you had to be a scion in our private leagues over and over and over until you reached 75. Now, we couldn't remember the 75 number.
Yeah,
so a couple episodes, yes, it did. A couple episodes ago, we were trying to, like, what was the number we said? So Justin said, I think 70. So I latched onto that because I'm pretty sure that was lower than what we had. So I have to get to level 70 as a scion. Otherwise, next private league, I also got to be a scion.
And then we may have more mods because you get creative. Like, hey, remember last time when I couldn't do 40% life? Let's do damage too.
Oh, yes. See, I love hard content. I love seeing people have to go slow and think about it and plan more. I love that. I'm so excited for the game slowing down. Who knows how it's going to be? Who knows? I just have hopes and dreams, but I'm excited for it. That might have been one of my favorite non-PoE 2 announcements. The game's slowing down. Shut your face, Justin. So as I was leveling this week, I gave PoE on the Xbox One, not the next gen ones, which apparently it works fantastic on. I keep wanting to give it a go. I keep thinking that it's
maybe
me
it's changed.
That it's me, that I'm grumpy,
okay.
that I don't know, maybe I'm doing something that's making it, and it's never it. It just runs like crap on the Xbox One, but I keep wanting to go back to it. And I swear a long time ago, maybe I'll look it up for next episode, but I thought a couple leagues ago in the patch notes, we saw that the Vaal Temple was no longer going to be required to unlock favorites. I feel like I remember
that sounds familiar.
Getting excited about that in an episode. And then just like dynamic resolution, it's nothing anymore.
Like,
you just
oink. Trick,
but it happened even before. Remember, it was this league, last league. I don't know. Who knows? See, this is what's going to happen to harvest changes too. Or like this league, last league. I don't know. They changed the Vaal Temple map to not be. What was it? Oh no, was it to be required for your? What was it? They just changed. Oh, Hologram Masters. It was Hologram Masters that they changed. There was a Vaal Temple change a while back, and I could have sworn it was that you didn't need it for favorites.
I feel like I remember you saying that. I remember you being excited about it.
I never find it, and can't do favorites in that region. Thank goodness Race Chorus isn't in there. Otherwise, I'd be so pissed.
Maybe it's just standard console that affects.
You know what? It's probably their highest selling league.
Yeah, right. They're just trying to make it so bad so people stop playing it so they can be like, we're not doing it anymore.
You know what? I just make it next gen only, and then my complaints disappear. But while I was trying to, dealing with the favoriting system, I just kind of realized that the favoriting system kind of counteracts Maven. You don't really want to favorite too many maps because you don't progress Maven by doing the same maps. I don't know how much of a deal that is, like when you're actually running, how often you go, but I hadn't set any of my 313 favorites up yet. So when I went to go do that, and all of a sudden, all my favorites were dropping. Like I was getting some pretty good favorite rolls. It was just my favorites that were dropping left, right, and center. And so I started thinking like, okay, maybe it's just good luck. But if that's the case, my goodness, how am I going to progress Maven? Now, I don't even know what it's like because of the state of console. I haven't had a chance to play a lot of that stuff for this league yet, the new Maven content, but after you get 10, do you have to get 10 again every time?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So you do on a regular basis want to roll a variety of maps if you care about Maven.
To be honest, I don't know.
Okay.
I would think so, but
why would anybody listen to us if we don't know that?
It's true.
Ugh.
Idiots. Oh my God.
Nothing like a good spelt with a U.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. No, other just stuff I was messing around with as I was doing my best. But I actually had a little hissy fit rage quit while broadcasting. I was just like, oh man, this is like really bad. I didn't, because it's a controller my kids got for me for my birthday, so I couldn't.
Take care of that.
And then, but then I loaded up some Madden, and I I was trying to play like streaming to my computer and it didn't work well. So then I loaded Formula One and I got some sweet racing tips on how to, because like I love the race and I love it in real life, but I don't know the ins, ands, or buts of setting up my car for.
Formula One came out today.
Yes, it did. Can't wait. And same with Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I'm going to have to watch the Snyder Cut too. So that's HBO Max. And in Canada, that's Crave Plus. Like that's the second tier of 3 of Crave, I think. It's a lot for a movie. Anyway.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bye.
But yeah, we're going to go play some.
Yeah.
Play some Path of Exile.
I got to play.
Private League. If you want information, go to our Discord. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for joining us for Forever Exiled, the Path of Exile podcast. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
This is episode 74. If you're looking for more information, our website's down below, foreverexiled.com. We're on Twitter, foreverexiled82. Our links to Discord is down below. Come pop in there and say hi. Our link, it's a single. Patreon link is also down below with our merch store link. And if you want to find more information about Patreon, you'll find it down there. Patreons, we'll see you in After Dark, and everybody else, we'll see you in episode 75. Peace.
75, that's a nice one, hey?
Is it round or whatever?
No, but it's a digit of 25, and that's pretty legit.